Welcome back. This is Dr. Chiranjeevi Manike, Professor and Head of Data Science and Cybersecurity Department, MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad, as part of a data mining video lecture series. And today we are going to discuss about the data quality, that is a part of data pre-processing. And in this lecture, I am going to cover accuracy, completeness, consistency, timeliness, believability, interpretability. And these are the factors comprises of the data quality. So let us see one by one with little examples. And before, let us try to understand what we mean by the data quality. So the data has a quality if it satisfies the requirement of its intended use. Like for example, if the data is intended to inform a financial report, so then the intended use is accurate financial analysis. And another example, if you could take, if the data is being used for a predictive modeling in machine learning, then the intended use would be making the reliable predictions. So inaccurate, incomplete, inconsistent data are commonplace properties of large real-world database and the data warehouse, as we discussed in the previous lecture. And coming to the factors, various factors where the data quality comprises. So one among those is accuracy. So data accuracy refers to the degree which the data is correct, reliable, and free from the errors. And what are the factors affecting the accuracy? Like the data entry errors, like sometimes we prepare the data, that is the manually enter the data. So there could be chances to occur the manual typo errors. And next, measurement errors, like suppose if you are using an equipment which is not a perfect equipment, and suppose if you are using the method and which is not also the accurate one, in that case there are possibilities to get the inaccurate data. And the other one is the factor which affect the accuracy, like a data transformation issues. Mostly in ETL, extraction, transformation and loading, and to move the data from different sources to the data warehouses, the data transformation would be done. Like for example, because the data would be integrated and transformed into a source called as a data warehouse. So in this case, let us say, like suppose the customer ID, in one database we have a attribute called as a customer ID. Customer ID is one attribute, and let us say another database has same attribute with the name called as a customer ID. And some, like suppose in one database the customer details are like the first name, F name, M name, and L name. So, and when we in doing this extraction, transformation and loading process, that is to move the data from various sources to the data warehouse, all the fields of information in the source database may not be important. So we select only the specific fields, and that fields will be considered as the important fields in this before we move this data into the data warehouse. So in this case, like suppose if you want to sort the age of customers, and we apply the sorting transformations, and if you want only the first name of the customers, and then we apply this a selection transformation, like so that it would select the first name. So these are the transformations. So while doing the transformation in this ETL phase, extraction, transformation and loading, so there is a possibility to get the inaccurate data and outdated information also, like whatever the data being updated in a database that is obsolete or outdated, and that also causes the inaccurate data. And how we could assess whether the data is accurate or not. There are some techniques like a cross verification and the statistical methods to check the data accuracy. And we can also improve the strategies to avoid this inaccurate data, like by implementing the data validation tools, like during data entry. Like suppose if you want to create your Gmail account, or if you want to sign up for any account, so most of the applications would ask us to fill our email ID. So once we fill our email ID, and that would be validated immediately. If it is incorrect, then so it will be highlighted with a red color or something else. The message will be given, so that the users will enter the valid email IDs only. So that is a way we can implement the rules. And another way, like regularly auditing and cleansing the data sets to remove the inaccuracies. And another important strategy so to improve the data accuracy is the training staff on the proper data handling techniques. And coming to the another factor where the data quality comprises, like a completeness. So completeness refers to the extent to which all the required data is present, whether the whatever, like suppose if you want to do some customer analysis or customer segmentation or market basket analysis, whatever the analysis could be, and whatever the data required to do this kind of analysis, all this data should be available. So the completeness handles the availability of data. That should, every data, whatever the data required, that should be fully populated in a data set. For example, you can see in this table here, and this is the highlighted with this color, orange color. These are the missing, like the incomplete data. So in this record, the email is incomplete, it is missing. And here this third record, the phone number is missing. And for the next record both the fields of information is missing. So it is a critical aspect of data quality, that is to ensure that the data sets are comprehensive and contains all necessary information for analysis, reporting, and decision making. And the data completeness or the incomplete data may occur for a number of reasons. There are some possible reasons, like attributes of interest may not always be available, such as customer information for the sales transaction data. And sometimes other data may not be included because simply so they were not considered important at that time of entry. The relevant data may not be recorded due to the misunderstanding or because of equipment malfunctions also. And then the data that were inconsistent with the other recorded data may have been deleted. These are the possible reasons of getting the incomplete data. So we can also address this incomplete data by various strategies and techniques. Another factor which comprises the data quality is the consistency. So data consistency refers to the uniformity, that is and the coherence of data across the different data sets, databases, or systems. So it ensures that the same data values or records do not conflict with another, that is maintaining integrity and reliability. So there are two types of consistencies mainly, like internal consistency and external consistency. So what is internal consistency? For example, if you take a one data set, okay, so let us say the data set, and this is a data set. In this data set, like a customer information, like if you take a customer age, so customer age, and that is like suppose some 38 years old, and the same data set, if there is a date of birth field, and the date of birth, like suppose the date of birth, and this should give the same information. So that is called as an internal consistency. So that can also be validated, like in our database management system, if the database field is available, we can derive the age of the customers. And second, external consistency. External consistency means suppose the same database, there are two let us say the two different databases, different in the sense and the information which is available in this database, like let us say DB1 and this is DB2, and this databases, let us say the one same, let us take another customer. So one customer address in this database and the same customer address in this databases are different. So then that is called as a external consistency. So this the consistency would also be managed by following some strategies and techniques. And next, another factor which comprises the data quality is the timeliness. That means that refers the degree to which the data is up to date and available when needed for the decision making, analysis or operational processes. For example, in automated trading mainly, the decision to buy or the sell stocks are executed in microseconds. That should be executed in microseconds. So it requires immediate access to the data for algorithmic trading. The similar example also, like in this case, like in this the decisions to buy or the sell the stocks, if any lag in the data availability, then it can give the competitors an edge. So therefore, even if the data is accurate, it may still suffer from the poor timeliness quality because it impacts the trading effectiveness because the data is not available on time. And you can also take another example like the similar kind of example, autonomous vehicles. And this vehicle has to get the information from all the sources, like all its surroundings, like these are the different objects in its surrounding. So it has to get the information on time, and so that it will take the decision to move the vehicle or to stop the vehicle. Like any action, further action need to be taken. If there is any delay, then it causes the it may leads to the accidents. Another factor which comprises the data quality is the believability. This is very important one because most of the business owners, they may collect the data or they may purchase the data from the third parties. So we have to that is whatever the data we purchase, that should be trustworthy, right? So this the factor deals how much the data are trusted by the users. Another factor which comprises data quality is the interpretability. Whatever the data, right, that should be easily understood by the customers or users or end users. Like let us take some visualizations. So these are some visualizations of the data. So by seeing these visualizations, like by pie charts, bar charts, line charts, so the customers could easily understand the data. So this is another important factor. And if you come back to what we already discussed in the previous lecture, what is the importance of the quality of data? That means if we have the bad data means, as we discussed just now, like if you have inaccurate data or if you have incomplete or inconsistent or outdated or dirty data. So if you have inaccurate data, then the time, our money, or the decisions and the efforts, everything would be wasted. So let us see some statistics, though these are like a little bit older, like 2020. These are the statistics of the high cost of inaccurate data. If we have inaccurate data, what is the cost? Like around 3.1 million. So previous lecture we already discussed the recent statistics, also around $11.9 billion the cost of inaccurate data. So this is like, these are some other statistics, so you can also go through it. And next, because the most of the organizations, they drive the most decisions from the data that is unseen. This is the data which is unseen for the most of the organizations. So we mostly predict, or we do some kind of analysis or anything That is only the seen data, not by the unseen data. So that is the major problem with the data quality. So let us summarize what we discussed in this session. So we discussed mainly the factors, various factors which comprises the data quality. That is accuracy. That means the data should accurately reflect the real world entities or the events as it represented. That means the real world and the real world the entities, the properties and the same similar properties which are available in our database should match, and all required data must be present and fully populated. That is completeness. Whatever the data required for further analysis, all this data should be available in the database, and then the data should be uniform and coherent across the different data sets or systems, like a consistency. The data must be up to date and available when needed. That is a timeliness. And the data should be perceived as credible and trustworthy by its users. The believability, so trustworthiness of the data. And the data should be presented in a way that is easy to understand and to draw the insights from the data. That is interpretability. So thank you for watching this video. We'll meet in the next lecture.